Sit on the other side of the table right there if you would. How's it going, Daniel? I'm Brent Davis. I'm with the Texas Rangers. Station your time real quick.
I introduced myself, I'm Larry Smith, ATF.
You make the long trip all right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea why we got you brought up here today?
All they really said was supposed arson.
Okay.
When they had me at the police department there in Shirts.
Okay. Is that where you were at down at Shirts?
Yes, sir. With my fiance.
Is that where you living now?
Yes, sir. Figured I needed to be closer to her so we can make our relationship work.
Okay.
Just try to start having a family.
Right. Where'd you meet her at?
About a year ago, around here in Ben Wheeler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was up here, she was dating one of my old friends, and they broke up, me and her started talking, and we've been going at her since August of 20th last year.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna tell us you stole her from
Oh, no, no. No, they both decided it just wasn't working out between them.
her. Right.
They still stay friends, we all still talk and hang out together, so. But
That's
she
good.
moved back with her mom, and I was like, I can't handle being around here without her, so I went down there. Been
Right.
going back and forth between here and there since Christmas.
Yeah.
So she still down there working, I guess?
Yes, sir.
She aware of everything going on with you, or?
No, sir.
Okay. Was she home whenever they came
Yes,
back?
sir. She was the one who opened the door for him.
Okay. Everything go good down there?
Yes, sir.
No problems or anything like
No,
that? Okay. All
We're not here to cause you any problems there, Daniel, we just got a job to do.
Yes, sir.
Anything that happens in here between us today, I want you to know up front, we don't take it personal.
Yes, sir.
You know, we got a job to do, we're gonna do it, and, you know, we appreciate the same, you know, respect from you to us. And,
Yes, sir.
and as long as we have that relationship, everything will be fine. You got what, one sister or two sisters?
Yes, sir. Two
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah. Then I understand back in 2007 you lost your mom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I can relate to that. It's a year to the day of a church fire the other day in Wills Point that I lost my mom. You know, same thing. I know what you're going through. Of course, I'm a little older than you are, so you know you're a little younger when you lost her, and I can understand that. You know, it's big, especially when holidays come around, birthdays come around, and things like that. It's tough, real tough. And like I say, we're not here to judge you. Not going to judge you. You know. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want any response from you. I'm not asking for any response at this point. I just want you to listen to us just for a minute and talk to you. You got a lot of problems, and we're gonna talk to them about here in a minute if you want to. You don't have to, you don't want to. But I think to give you advantage, you gotta convey your story some kind of way, rather than us just getting on there telling it. Cause I think, you know, by the time Brent and I get through here today, we're gonna be able to convey the story to you about, you know, what we can prove and everything. And it's pretty convincing evidence that we've got, and we'll be glad to share a little bit of it with you. Not by any means gonna share all of it with you.
Yes.
Okay? But before we get started, it's just a formality we need to do is let Brent advise you of your rights and everything. And if you wanna talk to us after that, you can. If you choose not to talk to us after that, you don't have to. That's totally, you know, or you can start talking to us and you don't like what we're saying or how it's going, you don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay? Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm gonna read this to you real quick, all right? You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all. You understand that? Any statement you make may be used against you at your trial. You understand that? Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. You understand that? You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. You understand that? If you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. You understand that? You have the right to terminate the interview at any time. Okay? You now knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waive your rights and agree to talk to us about this situation.
And again, if you want to talk to us for a minute, and decide you don't wanna talk to us anymore, that's fine, you don't have to talk to us to start with. We got some things we'd like to talk to you about, obviously, and it's up to you. Like I say, you can stop it at any time you want to. All you gotta do is say, hey, I'm finished, and we'll honor that. You know, not gonna hold it against you by any means or anything like that. You wanna talk to us a little bit about it to see
Yes, sir.
what we got and everything? Yeah, or a little bit of what we got, then hopefully, the way a situation like this works, Daniel, is, especially when we have more than one person involved, which we do in this case, I'll go ahead and tell you up front, Jason's in the Smith County Jail now. Has been for a little while, since earlier in the night. We've already talked to him, obviously. He's sitting in the same chair you sit in. And, I'll go ahead and tell you, we got some, probably quite a bit more evidence on him than we do on you. But obviously, we feel confident with the evidence we've got on you in the case to have you here.
Yes,
We don't just go arrest people just to be arresting
Yes,
people. And, just a little bit of what let me see the bottom of your boot. Red wing boot.
Mm-hmm.
We got your boot prints at 3 different fires, right next to his Skechers shoe print. We're gonna send those to the lab. They're gonna match you up.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna send your DNA and his DNA to the lab on rocks thrown to the church, which we've already collected DNA off those rocks. It's gonna match to whoever threw it, whether it be you or him. I know for one instance for sure it was him. You know, like I say, Daniel, you gotta have some way to tell your story. You got 12 people that's gonna be on the jury. There'll be a trial, cause you got
Yes, sir.
10 different counts is
Yeah.
what you'll end up. You got one right now only, but
Yes, sir.
you know, you'll end up with 10. Or you can cooperate, and I can't promise you anything, but you may can work something with the district attorney's office or something if you wanna do a plea later to, you know, make some of those go away or make some of them all go together. You know, instead of being stacked on top
Yes.
of one another, you know, you understand what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
sir.
Run concurrent and stacked and all that. And, you're what, 21 years old?
Yes, sir.
You got a lot of your life left in front of you. And you don't wanna waste it by playing the hard game.
Yes, sir.
And, if you lived either, if not in Smith County, you lived around Smith County for a while, you know, they got pretty rigorous prosecution here.
Yes, sir.
And, especially when it comes to the kind of things that have been going on, the people here don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And like I say, Brent and I are here to work with you through this thing, convey your message to the jury, convey your message to the district attorney, Mr. Bingham, that you cooperated. When you saw the gig was up, you know, you laid it out, you're a man about it, and wanna get it behind you. You think that's something you wanna do, or?
Yes, sir.
So the best thing to do, just however you wanna do it, is, I guess the best thing to do, Daniel, is start from the beginning, you know, how it started,
No, sir. I was actually gone when they first started.
okay,
And then, you know, Jason told me, he was like, hey, man, you know, he started telling me what he was doing.
Jason, who,
Huh?
I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about, but
yeah.
Jason,
Bored.
okay, alright.
And he was like, would you like to help me? And I was like,
Mhm.
well, what the hell's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of rode along with him, and that was it. I
Right.
got out, walked in with him, but
Okay.
I do have a
Where
grudge
was that
against.
first one at?
It was over in Athens.
Okay, you
It
remember
was-
the name of it?
No, sir. It was just like a little small metal building.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even really look like a church. They just had one of the doors wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So we walked in through that door, and when we left, we shut the door and locked it back.
Okay, when you went in there, Daniel, how did you go about setting the fire?
I walked around the church. I'll come back into the sanctuary, and Jason already had it started
Okay,
and burning. And I was like, because I was thirsty. I was dying of thirst.
in the sanctuary, you say?
Yes, sir. It was in the sanctuary in the center.
Okay,
Because I come around the corner from the kitchen, and all of a sudden I see flames going up towards the roof. I'm like, fuck. So I walked out the door, and I was like, you're on your own now.
uh-huh.
And
You grew up in what kind of church?
Baptist.
Baptist, that was Ben Wheeler?
Yes, sir.
Right.
First
Yeah.
Baptist been with him.
Right, I understand your mom was pretty,
Yes, sir.
active in the church and
Oh, yeah.
everything, yeah. What could you tell if the fire was started on, or?
Just,
Could you tell what was burning?
it just kind of looked like pew cushions or
Okay.
something, I don't know.
Okay.
Just whatever was like in there, basically.
Did y'all start a fire anywhere else in the building
No,
there
sir.
that you remember, or?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not that I remember
Okay.
seeing.
Okay. What were you wearing? Were you wearing these same boots that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you up front, you know, not to trick you up or anything, but we're gonna ask you some questions, obviously, that we already know the answer to.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna give you an example of that right now. I knew you were wearing those shoes that night because they were present at the next church I went to that night.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You wanna go ahead and tell us about the second one?
The second one, almost the same thing. I was walking around, we were trying
Mhm.
to find just different things. Couldn't find anything good. I come back downstairs.
No, okay, but how did you get in there?
How did we get in there? One of the windows was broken on that one.
Okay, all right,
It was one of the ones going down like a little hallway type deal.
okay.
It was like the playground right here
Mhm.
and those windows right there.
Right.
It would have been the one on this
Okay.
side of the playground.
Like growing up in a church, you know, especially if you start in a small church and it gets bigger, they build onto it and
Yes.
all that. So the front part, the older part, would have been the old sanctuary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then they built a new sanctuary around here,
Mhm.
and then they were in the process of building a new gymnasium and stuff. So in relation to that, would it have been up near the old sanctuary, or the gymnasium?
The
Where-
sanctuary, I'm guessing.
Okay,
Because it looked older than what anything else
Okay,
did. We
alright.
were just right there.
okay. So you had a window broken, and
Yes, sir.
did y'all go through the window then?
He did.
Okay,
He didn't open the door.
you're talking about Jason?
Yes.
Okay. And which door did he open? Where you go in?
The front metal door, like the main glass doors are
Oh,
right
okay.
there. The-
Like metal
like,
frame? with
yeah,
glass
yes,
in
sir.
it?
If you were looking through those doors, you would see the road going like that.
Okay,
And then the one going down beside it.
okay. Then what'd you do after you got in?
Went in, looked around, tried to see if there's any money, anything worth
Okay.
taking.
Find anything?
No, sir.
No money?
No, sir.
Okay.
Looked up in the sound booth just to see what was up there.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't nothing worth taking.
Okay. But y'all ended up taking something though, didn't you? Remember? Before, I don't want you to get yourself in a bind here. I don't want to trick you up. And Daniel, it might be completely innocent that you just can't remember. Do you remember any musical instruments in that church?
I remember a guitar,
Okay,
a wooden one.
okay. How about two of them?
What was it? Was the other one like a bass or something
Mhm.
about that tall from the ground up?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Did y'all,
I
Leo,
got
Jacob?
the bass guitar,
okay,
and Jason carried out the guitar.
okay. All right. Where did y'all set fire in that one?
It was same places, sanctuary.
Okay. How about the baptistry?
Yeah,
Okay. What did you
Like-
do there?
I never like had any actual hand in actually lighting the fires or getting them ready.
Okay.
That was more him. I
Okay.
was running around trying to see if there's anything to take.
Okay. Y'all had two different
Yes, sir.
motivations for going to that. Okay. All right.
Cause I don't like religion, but I don't dislike it enough to actually go burn it down
Mhm.
myself.
And we'll talk about that more in
Yes,
depth in a little bit, to let you explain, because I know
Yes, sir.
you started wanting to explain it a while ago, but don't let me forget that.
Yes, sir.
Ranger Davis and I've been up quite a while, so I might forget. Don't let me forget, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you take the two guitars, you take one, Jason Bork takes the other, and you at least, I guess, obviously see him setting fire because you knew it was set to the baptistry and
Yes, sir.
and the pulpit area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about anywhere else in the building?
That's really all I remember seeing.
You
Going
remember going up the stairs up to the music room?
Yeah,
Or
I
the
was up
sound
there.
room?
Yeah, I was went up there to see if they had anything good.
Okay. How about a fire inside the stairwell?
There could have been one.
Okay.
I know when I first walked back in there and saw the flames in front of me, I turned and that door was shut.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, man, I gotta get out of here. Because
Right.
he wasn't even in there
You
anymore.
don't get caught in one.
Yeah, so I was like, man, where the hell did he go?
Right.
So I go off looking for him. We finally met up at one door going
Mhm.
to the car.
Right. Right. What vehicle were you in?
His
Uh,
blue one.
the Ford?
Yes, sir.
You remember what kind of Ford it is? What
Yeah.
brand? What
was a Focus until his grandparents took it away from him.
Still a Focus, it's just not
Yeah,
his.
yeah, yeah. Still a Focus, just ain't his.
When did they take it away?
Last weekend, I think.
Last weekend. You know why?
He had screwed up the rim or something on it and bent the rim out.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
It was driving around, just me and him. And
Yeah.
we went through a car wash and we heard this pow on the bottom of his car.
Run over the rail or something?
Yeah, guess so. And when we got out to look under it, there was metal hanging under his car and that rim was bent out about like that.
Aluminum rim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where did y'all take the guitars to after that?
Took him to a pawn shop.
You remember which one?
That was his territory.
Is that where they ended up at?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Daniel, let's go back again, okay? Don't wanna get caught up. You know, got something for you, deal there. Excuse me. I'm gonna draw Brent here with a big head, cause he's got a big head. That's me. This is me, this Ranger Davis there, this is you over here. This is the fence right here. When you first came in here, you started off on that side of the fence over there. You moved right here on top of the fence, okay? You won't get completely 100% right. You need to be over here on the side of the fence with us, okay? And we'll go ahead and tell you, and this is the last time I'm gonna stop you. Next time I'll just let you keep going as you're going, and it's not gonna look good to you in the end because it's not gonna be 100% correct. You know, if somebody gives admissions, they admit to certain things, a certain percentage of it. If they give a true confession as to what they've done, it's 100%. And there's not a lot, you know, there's a lot of people that don't give a true confession about everything they've done. But we recovered the guitars tonight, so we know where they went. Don't worry about getting anybody else in trouble, Daniel. Just worry about Daniel, okay?
All right.
And you know, not mad at you for not telling me 100% truth, so just let's, you know, be honest, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, where did the guitars go?
They were at my buddy's house that I was staying with. There and been with it.
Okay.
And that's where they both were at for
Okay.
me.
What's his name?
He won't get in trouble because he didn't know they were stolen.
Well, if he didn't know they stolen,
I just had him out in his old trailer.
Okay.
With a bunch of my other shit.
Okay. I know his name.
Okay, Richard Wilbanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Half Hispanic.
Yes, sir. Yes. He is Tex-Mex.
Right. Okay. So y'all took him over there. Did you tell Richard anything about what happened?
No, sir. I was just like, hey, found him in a garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put him in here, and he was like, okay.
All right. Okay. You remember about what day this was? These two. You were down in San Antonio. You said during Christmas.
Yes, sir. I came back the 3rd. It was either the 3rd or the 4th.
Okay.
You have to look at my fiance's credit card deal.
Okay.
Cause all
You think
that.
she'll let us do that?
It might. She might if you ask her. 'Cause, like the
My
first
wife will let me look at
tickets.
her.
My first 2 tickets going back and forth. She paid for with her credit card
Mhm.
online,
Right.
and then the one going back there, I paid for myself in Dallas for
Airline
$38.
ticket or
Bus.
bus
Greyhound.
ticket? Okay. Greyhound bus.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Let's go back to that a little bit. You said as you were gone, I think you left just before Christmas to go down there.
Yes,
came
sir.
back
Left
and back and
Christmas
forth.
Eve.
And you said earlier, before I stopped you, that Jason Bork had already done 1 or 2 or before you got involved.
Yes, sir.
Did he tell you about that?
He just said I did a couple of fires. That's all he tell me.
Didn't say where?
No,
He
sir.
didn't ever driving around show you?
No, he didn't
Okay.
drive me around.
Remember,
Now I watched on the news and stuff, and my
So
sister
you-
was telling me. Yeah, I knew the
Yeah.
fires. I just didn't know who did it because my sister told me.
When you first said it, you said they had done a couple of fires. Who was the other person with Jason?
Usually when I say one person, I just say they. That's just how I am. You can ask my sister. I've been like that my whole life.
So Jason, as far
Yeah,
as you know, was by
as far as
himself.
I know, it's just been him. Cause like when I went with him the 3 times, it's just me and him.
Okay.
And I figured that if he had had anybody else with him, they would have been with me and him.
Okay.
But
okay. So you got back about the 4th.
yes, sir.
So when y'all went to Athens, what were y'all over there driving around doing? Just
Cruising around, he was like, "Hey, let's go do something," and I was like, "Okay, why are we going to Athens?"
right. And we already know that y'all were into, you know, breaking in vehicles a little bit here
Yes.
and there and things like that. Was that what y'all were out doing? And
That's mainly what he was out doing, yes, sir.
okay,
I just kind of followed along and walked
right,
and kind of watched out for him while he was doing it.
okay. So you got back to Fourth. About how long after you got back do you think it was?
Probably that Thursday or Friday or something.
Okay, after you got back.
Yes, sir, because, no, could have been back a week before.
Okay.
I know I'd seen him in the middle of the week when I first got back
Mhm.
for like 30 minutes, and he left.
Mhm.
And then I think it was that next week.
You know where
came
he
back.
went to?
He said he was going home, and I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, have fun. And I stayed up at my other friend's George's mill
Uh huh.
because I'd just gotten back. He let me stay there with him for a while.
What friend would that be?
His name is Josh Arnold.
Josh. Okay.
Yeah, he let me stay at his house when I first got back at Christmas or beginning of the new year.
Mhm.
And Jason came over there to find me, and I didn't want to go nowhere that night. I was still tired.
Mhm.
So he left to go home. About the next week, he showed up.
Right. Okay. So after you do these two here, oh, let me go back a little bit. We left out a couple guitars at the first one too. Where did those go to?
The first couple ones were
Mhm.
sold.
Okay. You remember who you sold them
No, sir. I let someone else handle that part for me.
to? Okay. We'll go back to that in a minute. Remind me of that, Brent.
Okay.
Okay. After the second one here, you remember the first one you said was a metal building, and you described kind of the second one. Was it? Tell me about where it was. What side of Athens it was on the second one,
It was,
or the name of the church?
I think, Lake something church.
Lake something church. Okay, that's good enough.
Because I remember like seeing the word lake,
Okay.
and that was about it.
Right.
I don't remember like what religion, church it was or anything.
Okay. All
I
right.
just remember seeing the word lake.
Okay. So after that one, when is the next one that you were involved in with?
See, after
Jason?
that, I left again, went to San Antonio for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I got back and I was here just a week before I actually left again last week.
Okay.
So it was right after I'd gotten back from the last time.
Okay. Which church would that have been?
The one on,
Remember what road it's on?
I think it's out towards Canton or something. No, it was, back towards this way,
Okay.
around, 110,
Okay.
down in there.
Okay. Right after y'all did that one, y'all went to somewhere, didn't you?
Mhm.
Where'd you go to?
Went over to somebody he knew.
Okay, but before that,
Before that, we went to a buddy of mine's house.
did you go buy you a Dr. Pepper somewhere? Some
No.
cigarettes?
Oh yeah, went to the gas station.
Yeah. Which gas station?
The one on the interstate there, the Valero or the one across from it,
Mm-hmm.
because it was right there.
Were you wearing the Green Bay Packers
Yes sir, it's
On
my
the record?
fiance's jacket, yes sir.
and something on your head?
Yes sir, toboggan.
What y'all go in there separately for, not acknowledging one of you knew though?
Oh, I don't know, I just walked in to
Just
get my
happened to work.
cigarettes and get my beef jerky and a Coke. I was like, I don't care
You
what
got a
the
big
hell
long
you're-
Slim Jim, didn't you?
Yes sir,
Yeah.
got one of the,
One of the big ones.
yeah, the Sasquatch and then
Yeah.
the regular beef jerky.
Yeah, okay. So, we're talking about the, well, let me just show you here, I think I got a picture of that one.
If you need anything, call back at me. All right, same here. We'll see you.
I swear I got one of them.
Not that one.
Thanks, Brent. That look familiar. Exxon. 110.
Yes sir.
How'd y'all get in that one?
That's one of the doors.
Dover Baptist Church. That's the
Yes.
same way.
It looks familiar,
Okay.
just
Alright.
like the way it looks. But one of the doors was like, I guess one of the hinges was broken on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess Jason didn't realize that when the window was already broken. And like as he was pushing, he thought he had unlocked it, and then he realized there was a board coming up to the doorknob.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in through like the busted door on the side.
Okay. But y'all removed that two before that was against there, y'all later removed that.
Yes, sir.
Who removed that?
I don't know. When I walked in the door, it was already half open.
Okay.
And I didn't see no, like, it up against the door anymore.
Right.
It was just laying down.
Which side of the church would it have been, on the front, one of the sides, or the back?
Coming up right here.
Like the back side
Yeah,
of the
like,
sanctuary?
here's the swing set and all that crap.
Uh-huh.
We came up between these two buildings.
Uh-huh.
It was that door right in there.
Oh, okay.
So it's to that one.
All right.
What were y'all in that night? What
The
vehicle?
same vehicle.
The
Ford Focus,
car?
yes, sir.
Okay.
But did you later change vehicles?
No, sir.
You did? You're in the Ford Focus?
Yes, sir. Every time I was with him, it was in his car.
In his car? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go after you left here?
After we left there, we drove around and went over to Willow Branch Road.
To where?
Willow Branch Road.
Okay. And,
Yes, sir, that one. That one, all that had to be done was a knife put on the tongue of the door and go like that, and the door
open
opened
up.
right up. Yes, sir.
How did y'all set that one?
He was busy in the baptistry with all like the clothes that they have, like the robes that they
Mhm.
baptize in and all that.
Right.
He was busy with all that. I was just scurrying around. I knew there wouldn't be nothing interesting in there.
Why'd you know that?
I've been to that church before.
Oh, have you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And that was on Willow Branch Road, you said?
Yes, sir. And that was the last thing I had any part
Well,
of. And that was
but there was 2 more attempts, though, that same night.
okay. That
Remember
would
that big
be
old red
in
wing
his
you got
car.
on
Yes,
there?
sir.
Okay. Where would that have been?
Somewhere on 110.
Okay.
Like church up on the hill.
Okay.
It like as you're like if you're coming from Van to Tyler on 110,
Right.
you're going and it's up just like up on the hill right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. How about one right after that one?
I don't
Remember
remember.
those big old red wings?
Yes, sir.
How about up somewhere near the loop in Tyler?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm sorry. I was
That's
I was
okay, that's
trying
all
to
right.
remember where it was on
Right.
110.
Okay.
But yes, sir.
How did y'all, the one right before the one we're just now talking about at the loop, the one before that on the hill,
Mhm.
how did y'all try to get in that one?
He had tried to break the glass on the door.
Okay. He being Jason?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What are you trying to break it with, you know?
Just a rock.
Okay.
And it actually went through the glass, but then the alarm went off.
Really?
And I was still sitting over in the passenger seat of his car.
Okay.
So he like runs ass over there, jumps in the car, and we haul ass.
Now, did y'all try and get in those 2 churches before you did this one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So were y'all in Tyler and just made your way coming
Yes,
out
sir.
110?
Mhm.
Okay. Did y'all been doing anything over in Tyler prior to this, or just
Just driving
regular?
around.
Okay.
Where did you go after Willow Branch?
Went and I stayed at my buddy's house, and Jason did too.
Okay, but back, you gotta go to the bathroom quite a bit, it seems like. Did you go to the bathroom somewhere? Truck stop somewhere?
I don't
Don't
think.
remember that?
I don't recall stopping anywhere
Okay.
for a bathroom break.
Okay. All right. How about after that?
After that,
Yeah.
I haven't done anything with him. Really
Okay.
hung out.
So the ones you're talking about then, Daniel, let's go back to them again. And I'll call the names to them from the descriptions you give me. The first one be Grace Community Church in Athens, out off 19 South. Does that sound familiar? The one you said was a metal building that
Yes, sir.
didn't really look like
Yes,
a
sir.
church.
Yes. Sir.
Okay. Then the one that had a lake in it,
Mhm.
which would have been Lake Athens Baptist. And that was maybe a week and a half after you got back from San Antonio from the Christmas holidays, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Then, after that, the other episode you're talking about would be the ones that you just described, the 2 attempts and
Yes, sir.
the 2 actual fires of churches. Okay. What did T remind me to do, Uncle Brent? Oh, go ahead and let you tell me why. You said, I don't remember exactly what you said, or something you're gonna explain to me about you don't go to church anymore and why you may not, and,
Oh, I have people.
or what you've got against churches.
Oh, I don't have anything against
Okay.
like churches
Uh-huh,
and or people in them.
uh-huh,
It's just the whole idea of religion that they try to control you
Uh-huh.
24/7,
right,
and it's never appealed to me, and I quit going to church after my mom died.
Right,
Just because I got tired of her, watching her pray every day and then watching her die for a week.
right,
I
right,
was like, fuck that.
right.
So.
Okay. Did she go pretty quick, or did she suffer a long time, or?
She had bleeding in the brain from that Tuesday morning up until she passed away going into Thursday morning.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How old was she?
50, 52,
Really?
between there.
That's young. That's a year younger than I am now. Yeah. Especially young anymore is, people living older and older. And then that would have made you, let's see, 18?
Yeah, probably 16.
When she died, I was 18, 19.
Yeah. Oh,
3 years ago.
yeah. Anything else? Just they try to. I understand. You probably went to church as a little kid.
Yes, sir.
And everything.
Grew up in it.
Right. And which church was that?
We grew up in different ones. I've been to the churches here in Tyler, Sylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and went to Gurn Acres a little bit. Those are about the only ones here in Tyler.
I'm surprised I didn't see you there.
And then, like, down and around Ben Whaler's first Baptist, Ben Whaler's the one we went to.
Look familiar.
Yes, sir.
Which one is that?
First Baptist, Ben Whaler.
One you kind of grew up in?
Yes.
Your mom was there pretty much every time the door was open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gone and been there in 3 years.
Really?
I told them, all of them, fuck you, and I hate y'all.
Really?
And I left. I told the preacher the same thing.
Really? Who's the preacher out there?
Carlton Young, I guess he's still the preacher there.
How do you and your dad get along?
Oh, we get along pretty good.
Do you?
He lives with my sister, and me and him hang out sometimes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Brent?
What, when all this first kind of kicked off, I guess Jason kind of told you a little bit about what he had been doing. You said he did.
Yes, sir. He told me, he was like, hey, I've been burning churches. And I was like, why? He was like, I don't know. And that's all he could tell me about it, was that he didn't know why. He just wanted to.
Okay.
And I was like, good for you.
Now, you and him grew up in church together. Right?
Yes, sir. We both did.
Is there anything, I mean, you had a hard time understanding that with your mom and stuff, and is there something that you know of that happened to him that might
His mom's a dope addict, and his dad got out of prison for selling coke.
is that kind of what you think pushed him?
Could
toward
be.
this?
He's been with his grandparents his whole life. He didn't really know either one of his parents too well.
How many churches, you've been in and out of town,
Mm-hmm.
but we know you communicate with him pretty regularly.
Yes, sir.
Has he told you about any other churches other than the first two that he's tried to do anything with while you've been gone?
No, whenever he calls me on the phone, it's just to see what am I doing.
Okay.
And I don't really discuss shit like that on the phone.
He hadn't called you saying, man, I got another one, burn another one.
No.
Okay.
He called me the other day to tell me that his grandparents took his car away from him, and he moved in with his girlfriend.
Okay.
And I was like, well, good for you. I gotta go. Me and my fiance are hanging out.
Okay. Has I know you've been to San Antonio, but I would think that you've heard or seen that this has been a pretty big, I guess, case. It's got a lot of media attention.
Yes, sir. I did happen to hear a little bit about it on the news.
At any point, did you ever think, man, I probably screwed up on this deal. I think I ought to let somebody know. I need to feel like I want to come clean on this. Has there ever been any point that you you did wrong?
Yeah. Yes and no.
Okay.
Really. I mean, I've never liked really talking to cops, any of them. That's
I
probably why I
understand.
don't really hang out with my sister,
Right.
because she is a cop, kind of.
Yeah. She works for us.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Me and her, I talk to my other sister more than I talk to her, and she
Right.
lives further away from me.
Right.
And I just never really liked talking to cops.
I mean, is it something that you had a run-in at early young
Just
age, or?
From a young age,
Okay.
Like this one cop here in Tyler, when I was a kid, pulled my mom over while we were trying to go to church, kept us there for like 30, 45 minutes. Man, after that, I was like, man, cops don't know how to do their job either. So,
Okay.
I just never liked actual cops.
Right. Did you ever think about, even though you were involved, did you ever think about calling and letting somebody know Jason was doing it? Cause apparently Jason's done a lot since you've been gone.
Yeah, I've never been one to like turn my back on somebody or
Right.
start ratting them out. I mean,
Did-
I was raised different than that, I guess.
Has it ever crossed your mind that someone could've got hurt, someone could've got killed?
Yes, sir, that did.
Okay.
And had that actually happened, yes, I would have come forward right then and there.
So you weren't
Admitted.
aware that there was some firefighters that actually got hurt in one
No,
of these
sir,
fires?
I did not know.
Um,
All I'd heard about were the two I helped out on, and then those ones that me and you were just talking about.
The 2 attempts and the
Yes,
2
sir.
fires?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And those were the only ones I ever really heard about, because the next day I was watching TV and I happened to come across the news and it was talking about them.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. Kept changing the channels.
You had us so busy, we couldn't even watch the news.
Yeah, we didn't watch the news in 3 weeks. Did
I went home a while ago and the dog bit me.
at any time, and not trying to get your fiance in trouble or anything,
Yes, sir.
but, I mean, did it ever bother you enough that you felt like you needed to tell her about it?
I dropped hints
Okay.
around her. I don't know if she ever like caught on to it
Right.
or not, but I like dropped hints about it to her. But I never like openly said, hey, this is what me and Jason have gone out and done.
Right. Okay. She knew y'all were burglarizing cars.
Yes, sir. She knew a little bit more about that. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Other than the guitars that y'all took, from the Grace and Lake Athens, is there anything else that y'all found that you wanted to take or pick up? Any camcorders or any money, laptops, anything like that?
I had my eye on a camcorder.
Okay.
And I took that, but other than the camcorder, that was about it.
You remember which church you took the camcorder from?
It was one of the ones in Athens, the Lake.
The Lake Athens.
Yes, Lake
Lake
Athens. Yes, sir.
You remember where it was in the church?
It was on the tripod.
Oh, okay.
It was on its tripod, and like all the cords were hooked up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, and I was like, man, hey.
Yes.
Just like took everything, put it in my clothes, and just walked out the door.
Okay. What happened to that?
It's at one of these pawn shops here in Tyler.
Okay.
Cash America or America Cash something.
Right.
Pawn.
Okay. All right. So you pawned it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else at any other places you can think of? Cause you pawned some other stuff.
Yes, sir. Other than the camera, that's all I pawned.
Was there some other stuff that when you were there that Jason took that you're aware of?
I think he took a gun, like a shotgun or something.
Where was it at?
I don't remember where it was at. I remember where he pawned it at.
Okay. You don't remember which church he took it from?
No, sir.
Okay. It had to be one of these 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it early on with one of the Athens churches, or do you think it was later on? Right before
I
you left
just
town?
know he was like, hey, I got this shotgun we can pawn. And I was like, okay, because I was trying to get money to go back to San Antonio.
Right.
And he was like, well, I got some money for you, we just have to go pawn this gun. I was like, okay. Pawned the gun, got $50, and I was able to get back on the bus to go home.
Did you think it was unusual? I mean, from what we can tell, Jason's grandparents are pretty well off. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
had a big old nice house.
Oh,
He had a almost brand new car.
yeah. Oh,
Did it seem weird that, I mean,
yeah. Not really for him since he got into college.
really?
Ever since he started going to college, he's been reading philosophy and all kinds of stuff like that, and been more of like a free thinker
Okay.
and shit like that. Yeah.
Now, was this, at any point, was it just destructive in nature, or was it something that y'all, you said it wasn't really that big of a thing to you, but did it seem like it was a big thrill to watch the fire build, or to actually watch the church burn?
Towards me, no.
Okay. Did y'all ever come back by the church while it was burning?
We drove by one time.
Okay.
And That was the Athens one.
Okay. Alright. Y'all ever go back by a couple of days later or anything to see what all happened?
The ones on Willow Branch, me and him drove back by the next day.
Okay.
Just to see how bad it was.
Right.
And, cause I wasn't sure because like I'd seen all the cars go down there, so I was like, well damn, they got that one quick. Then we like go through the next day and there's nothing but the brick wall standing.
Yeah.
I was like, well shit. never
Y'all
mind.
had the other trucks busy.
Well, cause we came up off the ramp and there were 3 highway patrolmen sitting right here on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason was like, well, we ain't turning that way, and went up to the gas station, went through the parking lot. We saw one looking at a rig, cause there was somebody sleeping in one of their trailers,
Mm-hmm.
and then we like got back on the interstate and left.
When you say y'all circled through the parking lot, was that at the truck stop or
It's
gas
the
station?
one that has like the little drive-through after a certain time at night, the little gas station,
I don't know which one.
Willow Branch Road.
The truck stop looking?
Yes,
at it?
sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we circled through in there and then got back on the interstate and went back to Van.
You don't remember Jason getting out at that place though?
No,
Real
sir,
quick?
not at that place.
Okay.
I remember him getting out at like the other, like the actual nice stores
Right.
that you could go in at that time of night.
Y'all ever have, I know your fiance's not around, but y'all ever have his girlfriend or anybody else with y'all?
No, sir.
Okay.
It was always just me and him.
That same night, Daniel, when y'all did the attempt on the one at the Loop and 110 in Tyler, did y'all go to any convenience stores around that area anywhere?
I don't remember, like, I don't think we did,
Okay.
but, cause I don't think we stopped until after we had stopped at that one gas station to get some gas and something to drink, some
Okay.
cigarettes.
Okay.
Cause I don't remember like stopping at any store except for that place.
What kind of cigarettes do you smoke?
I smoke Camels or Marlboro.
How about Jason? What does he smoke?
He smokes whatever he can afford.
So just
Yeah,
Different brand?
yeah, just different brand. Every time I see him, he's got like a different kind of brand of cigarettes.
yeah.
During any of this, and we've been told by several people that you smoke weed from time to time.
Yes, sir.
During any of this, were y'all smoking weed before doing it, or while doing it, or?
I was high as hell before doing it. Yes, sir.
Okay. On every occurrence, or just certain ones?
All the ones I was actually with him. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
So was
was
that
high.
something y'all would do before, was gonna smoke weed for a while, and then?
Yeah, it was more like we were just gonna hang out and smoke a little bit,
Right.
just like catch up,
Mhm.
and then like it would turn into like driving around, and then it would turn into like what we did.
Okay.
And it was like never really planned out until until he just was like, hey, how about that church? And I'd glance over and I'd be like, I don't care, because I didn't even really want to get out of the car.
Okay.
I was high enough. I just wanted to sit there.
Now, one of the churches, we've got your boot print is you being the one that actually kicked the door in. You
Yes,
remember
sir.
what
I
church that
tried.
is?
He wanted me to kick in the door,
Okay.
and I tried twice.
Okay.
And with the screwed up knee I have, I can't do shit on it.
Okay. Do you remember which church that was?
No, sir. It's just a church.
Okay. Do you
All
remember-
church look the same. And sound the
Do you
same
remember,
to me.
was it any of the Athens churches or the other churches?
I don't think it was Athens.
Okay.
At least I don't think. I'm not sure.
Now you say that Jason is the one that would always get everything together to build the fire.
Yes, sir.
But from what the fire investigators have put together on this, we're pretty certain that it took 2 of you to put everything together. Now, I'm not saying that you started the fire, but
No, sir. I never
it
helped
took-
him like put shit together.
you never
Because
got
he
some
would-
stuff,
no,
and
sir.
got other stuff.
No, sir.